Hey there, having a rough day? Place your hand over your heart. You feel that? That's called purpose. You're alive for a reason, so don't give up. I'm Gregory Henderson, combat Vietnam veteran, and I'm coming to you here from the combat safe zone. And what I want to talk to you today is so important. I mean, if you can't get this, you're going to have a hard time rest of your life. The number one root cause of all your problems, every problem that you have in life comes from this one thing. And that is how you see the problem is the problem. So what do I mean by that? It's how you see it. We think that all our issues come from the outside, from external sources, when in all reality, that's false. Every problem that you have comes from the 6-inch space between your ears, your brain. Your brain, the way we see a problem is how our brain perceives it to be. We don't see a problem with our sense of sight like we think we do. Our brain doesn't work that way. Our brain sits there and listens to the words that we speak and the pictures that are produced in our brain, and that's where our issues come from. Our brain takes all this information in and it perceives the issue. It perceives whether this is threatening, life-threatening or not. But the problem is the brain doesn't know what's real and what's imaginary, so it doesn't really understand. All it does is gathers information. Your brain has one function, and that's to keep you alive for a long, long time. So it's going to move you away from pain and discomfort whenever it can. They call that the fight, flight, and freeze syndrome. I don't know, I'm sure everybody's heard of it. And it's just, our brain is being wired for survival. So when we come up and have a problem in our lives, well, the problem is simply, it isn't someone else or some situation or some event that happened in our life. It's coming from how this brain, this thing up here between our ears, has perceived the situation to be or the event to be. And if it perceives it to be threatening, and that's what it understands, that's exactly what it's going to send to the conscious mind, that, oh, go into survival mode. And that's where all our issues come from, is the brain's perception of the situation that we're involved in. So the problem, the way we see that problem, is the problem. So how do we change this? Well, I'm going to give you something right now that will literally stop your thinking and thought process within seconds. I call it the Jericho 5-second rule. I've used it for many, many years. I have individuals using it right now that just are thankful for it, because it literally stops your thinking and thought process for a split second. And it goes like this: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Now, if you say that out loud, just like I did right then, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. your brain stops. You've given it a command to stop. Okay, so you've left it, there's a void. It's waiting. Your brain now is waiting for another command, or it's going to kick back into default and just start pulling random thoughts from the subconscious. So when you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop, you better have something good to replace those thoughts you were having. Me, I use Joshua 1:9. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Have I not commanded you to be strong and very courageous? Do not be frightened. Do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. I replaced that scripture with my thoughts, previous thoughts. Now I can start thinking about what really happened and what problem I was having. Is that problem the truth, or is that problem a lie? Because as Christians, we're being attacked constantly by the enemy. Satan is telling us how we're not good enough, how we're not a Christian. I mean, he's throwing everything he can at us to keep us disrupted and keep us away from God. So right now, if you start, when you're stressed out, when you're bothered, when you're worried, when you're having issues of just going to sleep or anything else like that, any issues you're having, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop and quote a scripture. Read the Bible for a few seconds. Do anything that is good. And I promise you, right then and there, your brain's going to stop and it's going to listen to you give it a command. But remember this, if you do not give your brain a command, once you stop it, it's going into default and it's going to start bringing just more of what you were thinking about, how terrible life is or what it may be. So right now, I've given you the number one thing to stop stress, thinking about stress, worry, uncertainty, and all those things. You can stop it dead in its tracks with the Jericho 5-second rule. Okay, I love you folks. I'll give you more later on, but think about what I said. The problem, the way we see the problem, is the problem. If you don't understand that, it's going to be a hard road for you to hoe, because all our problems are on a battlefield, a 6-inch space between our ears. And if you don't understand that, well, we need to sit there and do a lot more talking. So, God bless you. I love you folks. And hey, have one fantastic day. And in the next video, we'll go deeper into the number one cause, or the root cause of all your problems, which is your brain, your thoughts, your thinking process. Oh, subscribe to the channel. Go down there, subscribe to the Facebook group, Combat Safe Zone, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.